Hey everybody, Daniel from Spacedock here. The cancellation of a science fiction TV series has been a sadly common occurrence for the past few decades, often owing far more to studio bureaucracy and poor marketing than to any shortcomings in the content itself. But on rare occasions, often through the actions of a dedicated fanbase, a series is given a second chance, and there is perhaps no better known example of this than the excellent 2005 movie Serenity. Serving as a conclusion to Joss Whedon's Firefly, Serenity was burdened with the difficult task of condensing multiple seasons worth of planned character arcs and storylines into a single feature-length production. In the face of this challenge, Serenity makes the wise decision to delineate Firefly's long-term story into 2 points of focus: River's past with the Alliance, which serves to drive the movie's plot, and more importantly, the characterization of Malcolm Reynolds, which serves to conclude his arc as a protagonist and finalize the greater themes of Firefly on the whole. Serenity does this primarily through the juxtaposition of Malcolm Reynolds and the film's antagonist, the Operative, as brilliantly performed by Chiwetel Ejiofor. Mal represents personal freedom, as he has throughout the entire series, a man who fought to liberate the verse from the Alliance and lost, settling instead to preserve his own freedom and that of his crew, in a world where that is increasingly difficult. Firefly shows us the last days of the West through the lens of science fiction, where the encroaching threat is not an alien menace or a rogue AI, but simply the inexorable spread of civilization. The Operative is the Alliance made manifest, a villain who has placed his faith in civilization so completely that he is content with remaining entirely ignorant of the secrets he kills to protect. It's often said that a good villain is the hero of his own story, but the Operative subverts this idea in a fascinating way. He sees himself for exactly the monster that he is, calmly describing his willingness to kill innocents and even children to help build the future that the Alliance wants. He even casually admits that there will be no place for him in the society he is helping to build. His faith in the system is so complete that he's willing to spend his life regarded even by himself as an evil man, and ultimately be discarded out of hand, all to create and enforce a society that he wholeheartedly believes in.
I don't murder children.
I do. If I have to.
Why? Do you even know why they sent you?
It's not my place to ask. I believe in something greater than myself. A better world. A world without sin.
So me and mine gotta lay down and die so you can live in your better world?
I'm not going to live there. There's no place for me there, any more than there is for you. Malcolm, I'm a monster. What I do is evil. I have no illusions about it, but it must be done.
Belief itself is an important theme of Firefly overall, and it's brought into sharp focus in Serenity. Where the Operative is entirely devoted to the ideology of the Alliance, Mal's relationship with belief is essentially the exact opposite. He gave up his religious faith following the Battle of Serenity Valley, and has since become completely unwilling to associate with or rely upon any ideals or organizations larger than himself. His only loyalty is to his own prosperity, and to that of the people he cares about. While this approach has served Mal well enough as captain of Serenity, it sometimes manifests itself in more cynical and selfish ways, as we see when he leaves a man to the Reavers at the start of the film, or whenever he considers abandoning Simon and River to protect the rest of his crew from the Alliance. In spite of their completely opposed philosophies, it's ultimately the same discovery that grants Mal and the Operative a new perspective on life, the revelation that the Alliance created the Reavers. Mal has run from the Alliance for years, but since the war he has never taken direct action against them. With some amount of effort, he's able to keep his own ship outside of the Alliance's reach, and for the post-war Malcolm Reynolds, that's enough. It's the revelation on Miranda that finally gives Mal a goal he believes is worth risking his life for. He's unable to allow the people of the verse to remain ignorant about what the Alliance has done, and for the first time he turns his ship around and flies into near certain death to ensure that the truth gets out.
So no more running. I aim to misbehave.
For the Operative, the revelation that the Alliance created the Reavers is akin to the same loss of religion that Mal suffered in Serenity Valley. The Operative had entirely abandoned any semblance of individuality or personal aspiration, and outsourced all of his self-worth and meaning to the greater idea of the Alliance. Learning that the deaths of all the people of Miranda, and those of everyone ever killed by the Reavers in the decades since, are solely the responsibility of the Alliance, completely shatters his worldview, leaving him as something very similar to the man Malcolm Reynolds was when we first met him. Listless and without purpose, responsible only for himself. As the Operative himself describes it,
there is nothing left to see.
The skillful thematic storytelling on display in Serenity, as well as the ingenious mirrored character arcs of its protagonist and antagonist, would be impressive enough in a standalone original science fiction movie, but the fact that Serenity is able to provide a satisfying conclusion for both the lead character of an existing series and a villain introduced only for the movie itself, with their resolutions crucially informing each other and carrying just as much weight as each other, is an incredible feat, and proof that with enough skill, the remains of a short-lived TV series can be used to fashion a better character story than many decades-long sci-fi properties have ever been able to accomplish. This is Daniel from Spacedock, signing off. Thank you for watching Spacedock. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please do check out the links on the screen right now or in the description below for our Patreon and channel membership services. Anything you can pledge goes towards improving our team and our equipment and allowing us to put together bigger and more exciting video projects for you guys on the channel.